I'm not going to talk to you about the current situation with driver recruitment and retention. Everyone knows the story already. It's difficult. We need to talk about what is unique. What can you do that's different than everyone else? Because if everyone is using the same job boards, the same ads, the same messaging, the same best practices, think about that. If we're all using the same best practices, it makes you look like everyone else. And all that guarantees is that you're going to be invisible with everyone else. The drivers see us as exactly the same. And the recruitment and retention industry just continue to push the same strategies. What you want is to hire drivers that will stick around. You want to know that you're going to get results for what you pay for. And you don't want to feel desperate trying out another job board, hoping you don't get taken advantage of. As carriers, you keep asking, what guarantees can you give me that if I spend this money, I'm going to get a driver? And you continue to hit the same wall. No one, until now, will guarantee a hire resulting from marketing. It's the same thing on the retention side. There are all these tools that will reduce your turnover by 20%. But I continue to hear from carriers that it didn't work. Now, the retention tools will say in the end, well, it's the carrier's responsibility to make the changes. We can't control the carrier. Here's the thing to remember. The industry is paid for placement of drivers, but not retention. The incentive for the industry is turnover, not retention. And you can see that in how everyone is paid. It's paying up front, there's no guarantees, and retention's not our issue, it's your issue. And that's just not a partnership. From that thought came our first program that was built for retention. This program is growing by leaps and bounds, and we're on our way to placing 1,500 drivers per year. The fees are based on when the driver starts working, and it stops if the driver quits, it's terminated, or if they just stick around long enough to become a long-term driver. They're yours. I should also mention that all these drivers have at least 10 years of experience. Now, this was the first time that I felt 100% comfortable saying, I can guarantee a carrier a return on their investment. But I kept asking, how can I expand this idea of a guarantee to our retention consulting and to our advertising services? And I was told by a good friend in the industry that it was a fool's errand to pursue this. Now, I'm sure he meant it in the best possible way, but being called a fool only made me want to do it more because I know that we have to do something that doesn't exist. Creating what doesn't exist always seems foolish to everyone else without the same vision. Then there was this aha moment. I met a company that helps with retention at universities and secondary schools. They help universities retain students so the students will finish their degrees. And they told me how they structure their contracts. Their fees were based on the results. See, every student is worth a certain amount of tuition dollars, and their fees were simply a portion of those tuition dollars. But it was a guarantee because it was only based on the actual results in retention. The guarantee already existed in another industry. Now I want to bring that to trucking. And then there was still the advertising portion. How can you guarantee that? No one guarantees marketing until now. If a carrier fits certain criteria with turnover, leadership, budget, geography, and the quality of their recruiter, we'll guarantee results on the marketing side. Part of that is because we know we are using unique to trucking strategies in the marketing and our own channels for marketing. So let me ask you, if I told you there was no risk and will guarantee results on certain programs, why wouldn't we talk? We're guaranteeing a return on your investment. And together, I want to change the whole industry. And that's the goal, to change the industry. Change to what? Ask any vendor in recruiting and retention, do you give a refund if you don't perform? Every vendor has a success story. I have success stories. But the better story is what happens on your bad days, in the times when you don't perform, the days when it's not perfect, your worst days in business. What do? For our company, a low turnover company, had decent geography. They guaranteed a salary. It was so disappointing. We had so many potential drivers that just ended up dropping off the face of the earth and not showing up for orientation. We didn't hit the goals that we had set. And so I sent them a refund check back. I want you to realize what this means. I spend that money in marketing. And if the money was no longer in my bank account, we spent that money. And then on top of that, I had to send a refund check. It was not just, well, we didn't make the money on that one. It was, we took a loss on that one. That's how confident we are when we say we want to work with you, how confident we are that we'll guarantee a result. What do you do in your worst day? That's integrity. That's trust. That's a true partnership. Recruiting, retention, advertising, foreign visa programs, guaranteed return on your investment. If you want that and you want to inch the whole industry towards change, contact us.